It's the final week of the Texas high school football regular season, and for a lot of teams across the state, it's all on the line. These are the picks. Welcome into the Picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and it's hard to believe we're here, right? The final week of the 2023 Texas high school football regular season. The playoffs start next week. You can find everything you need at TexasFootball.com/playoff. Brackets, pairings, predictions, everything. But still one more week to go and a lot to decide. Plenty of teams have already locked things up, right? Teams that have won their district championship week 11, we'll see what happens. Others, it all comes down to this. Others, they're deciding their fate and whether or not they're going to be playing next week or blowing up basketballs. That is the true beauty of week 11 of the Texas high school football season. We get to unwrap the present of the brackets on this weekend, but first we've got a lot to decide. There's huge games everywhere you look. We start in the Panhandle. 7 o'clock Friday night at Antelope Stadium in Abernathy. It is a critical 3A showdown as the Coahoma Bulldogs visit the Abernathy Antelopes. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, a matter of pace. This is one of those games where you could take the final score, strip away the teams, and I could tell you who won based on how many points are scored, because these are two teams that want to play in a different style. For Coahoma, they want to get up and down. They want this game to get into the 30s or the 40s. Quarterback Boyd Cox has been very good. They've got a big-time running back in Jaden Vineyard. They're going to want to keep this ball rolling and keep the score up. They're going up against an Abernathy team that wants to win with defense and relatively low scoring. They want to keep this game in the 20s thanks to their linebacker Jackson Hole. I think this game ultimately comes down to pace. Who sets the pace in this game? If this is up, if this is going, if this is a shootout, Coahoma's got a huge advantage. But if Abernathy can slow this thing down, I think they've got an advantage. So, who sets the pace in this game? Key number two, Ana Rolando. Let's talk about one of the stars of this Abernathy team, and it's running back Rolando Martinez, who has hit another gear recently. A couple weeks back, when Abernathy upset state-ranked Littlefield, it was because of Martinez, who had an unbelievable game, 5 touchdowns on the ground, well over 200 yards. He has been a revelation for this running attack for Abernathy, which has been a little bit inconsistent this year, but lately he's been very good. It's going to be up to this Coahoma defense, led by Nick Tuttle, to find a way to slow down Martinez and company. So, will Rolando Martinez continue to keep rolling, or the Coahoma defense have an answer? In key number three, under pressure. Why am I spotlighting this game? I mean, these two teams are combined 9-9 on the season. Certainly there's state-ranked matchups across the state of Texas that I could be spending my time talking about in this big segment, right? Well, this game is particularly interesting because of the implications that it has for the playoffs. You see, District 4 3A Division 2 is a mess. All right, you've got Idalou at the top. They've already clinched the district championship. They're cruising, feeling pretty good going into this week. But then you've got 4 teams all playing one another, all at 2-2 in district, all of whom control their own destiny. This is one of those games. Littlefield and Lubbock Roosevelt will play in the other one, but Abernathy and Coahoma are in a win and in situation. The winner of this game is going to the playoffs. Now, there is a situation for each of these teams, depending on how the other game goes, that they could get in with a loss. But make no mistake, these coaches are not talking about that. They're talking about going out there, controlling your own destiny, getting the win. You don't want to limp into the playoffs. That's what's so important about this game and what's so fascinating, because with those implications comes a lot of pressure. The playoffs are coming early to Abernathy America, and Coahoma and Abernathy are playing for their chance to survive and advance. So, who handles the pressure better? Who am I picking? I'm going with Abernathy. The Antelopes get the nod here at home because of their defense. As you get later in the season, I start to trust teams with defense more. That's where Abernathy has the advantage, led by linebacker Jackson Hole. Furthermore, I think that running game with Rolando Martinez is really starting to come on at the right time. Now, I do think that there's a clear path for Coahoma, and it is to get this game into a shootout. I do not think that Abernathy can keep up offensively if this game gets up into the 30s. So for Boyd Cox and I think Austin Perkins on the outside, a real X factor in this game, hit some big plays early and make Abernathy chase. They are not built for that. But in the end, I like the Abernathy Antelopes at home to clinch a playoff spot. Give me the Antelopes. Let's go to the DFW Metroplex, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Coach Kenny Deal Stadium in Melissa. It is a state-ranked matchup for the District 7 5A Division II crown as the Melissa Cardinals welcome in the Lovejoy Leopards. This is a really interesting situation that we run into every once in a while, where you've got two teams that are, in my opinion, a lot better than the other teams in their district, but they play late in the year, and as a result, you kind of go 2 months without thinking about them. That's kind of what's happened here with Lovejoy and Melissa. You know, Melissa ran through their first two opponents and looked every bit the part of a state championship contender. They've just kind of been doing that same thing. Running back Nathan Odejokun's been great. Quarterback Trevor Ham, defensive lineman Nigel Smith, big-time wide receiver Carson Maynard. This team is loaded, and they look like the number one team in the state. Lovejoy lost early in the season, and then they kind of went through district play, and they've kind of been rolling. And I love what this offense has really become. Quarterback Alexander Franklin has been outstanding, and I still think they have one of the best receiving corps in the state, led by Dalen McCutcheon and Jalen Lott. What's fascinating about this game is which team can wake up for their first big game in months. Right? It's been about 6 weeks since either of these teams have really been challenged, but suddenly a huge challenge is showing up on the doorstep for a district championship right before the playoffs. Who wakes up in time? I think Melissa at home is the favorite here. I love the balance they have offensively, and I think their defense comes up with a couple of big plays. Give me the Cardinals. Let's go to the Woods, 7 o'clock Friday night at Eakin Stadium in Timpson. It is a state-ranked matchup of unbeatens as the Timpson Bears welcome in the Garrison Bulldogs, and a district title hangs in the balance here for the number one team in the state, hoping to avoid an upset at the hands of a very good Garrison ball club. I like this Garrison team a lot, and it feels like this is their moment. The running game is what you need to know about them. They have this two-headed monster in the backfield with Amarian Raspberry and Javian Black. It's averaging like 260 yards and almost 4 touchdowns per game between them. They are outstanding, and they have a clear idea of what they want to do with this game. They want to lean on their outstanding defense, which has been so good all year long, and grind out long drives and keep this Timpson offense on the sideline, because we know what Timpson's about, right? They've got the reigning Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year in Terry Bussey, but they've also got a number of other playmakers like Amari Bruton and J.J. Garner. Their balance is what makes them really scary. I like Timpson in this one. Garrison is undefeated, but I'm not sure they've seen a team the caliber of Timpson this year, and that's what I think is the difference. I think being at home helps as well. I think the Bears finish off an undefeated season. And let's go to the Valley, 7 o'clock Friday night at Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco. It's a matchup of unbeatens for the District 32-6A crown as the San Benito Greyhounds visit the Weslaco Panthers. Only one of two matchups of unbeatens across the state. Garrison Timpson, one of them. This one is the other one down there in the RGV, and this is a fascinating matchup because these two teams are kind of looking in the mirror. You say that the bell cow running back has gone the way of the dodo, but I do not think that is the case down here with these two teams. You know, San Benito's got an unbelievable running back themselves in Fabian Garcia. He has been outstanding. Weslaco's got a great running back in Elias Rodriguez Jr., both of whom are absolute bell cow backs. They're going to hand the ball off to them 25 times, 30 times in this game and let them grind it out. That plays into their defense as well, which is hard-nosed and sturdy. That's what's fascinating about this game, is that these two teams are really looking in the mirror who matches up better. I like San Benito for a couple of reasons. One, they've won the last 4 against Weslaco, so history is on their side. The other thing is I think quarterback Aaron Corona is an X factor. I think his ability to give them a little bit of balance puts the Greyhounds over the top. Give me San Benito. But those are far from the only big games in the final week of the Texas high school football regular season. Let's get to the lightning round. Port Arthur Memorial bounces back with a win over Kingwood Park. Sonora polishes off a perfect regular season with a win over Forsan. And give me Pottsboro to take down Mount Vernon. Midland takes down Odessa Permian. I like Mason over Harper. And give me Willis to stay hot with a win over Conroe Oak Ridge. I like Sherilyn Pioneer over PSJA Memorial. Windthorst keeps it rolling with a win over Electra. And another state-ranked matchup out east. I like Kilgore over Chapel Hill. I'm going with Anna over Sulphur Springs. Munster gets by Celeste. And Iowa Colony wins their first district championship with a win over Needville. Give me Salina over Frisco Panther Creek. I like San Antonio Piper just barely over Liberty Hill. And way out west, I like El Paso Riverside over El Paso Bowie. In the Panhandle, I like Wellington over Clarendon. In Central Texas, I like Dawson over Wortham. And down in the Golden Triangle, I like Silsbee over Jasper. Hallettsville edges out Yoakum. La Villa takes down Freer. And down in the Houston area, I like Atascocita over Summer Creek. I'm going Johnson City over Stockdale. Give me Bridgeland in a close one over Cy Springs. And up in DFW, I'm going with Prosper over McKinney. Dangerfield and Harmony have quite a history lately. I think Dangerfield gets the win this time. Give me Panhandle to take down Farwell. And I'm going with Lovelady over Deweyville. I like Agua Dulce over Bruni. Give me Marlin to take down Valley Mills. And huge week in San Antonio. I like Brennan over Jay. Big rivalry matchup in DFW. I like Euless Trinity over LD Bell. Give me Belton in a close one over Waco University. And how about Stephenville over Waco La Vega? I think Tenaha knocks Overton from the ranks of the unbeatens. Give me Dalhart over Muleshoe. And San Antonio Wagner beats New Braunfels Canyon. I like Franklin over Little River Academy. Bowling takes down Wallace Brazos. And another huge game in the Rio Grande Valley. I like McAllen over McAllen Memorial. On the coast, I like Refugio over Ganado. In Laredo, I like United over Alexander. And in San Antonio, I like Harlan over Taft. I think Midlothian gets an upset win over Red Oak. In Abilene, I like Wiley over Cooper. And give me Sinton to take down Ingleside. I like El Paso del Valle over El Paso Bel Air. And Montgomery Lake Creek finishes perfect with a win over Brenham. Forney edges out Tyler. And in our six-man game of the week, it's a good one. I like Benjamin over Kroll. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2023 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the final week of the regular season. We'll see you.